What's going on YouTube? It's Ben. This is the channel where we talk about entrepreneurship and business, pretty much everything in between. If you like that kind of stuff, you should definitely become a subscriber. I would truly appreciate it. And smash the like button. It would rank up this video and that would be just awesome. So let's dive into today's topic, which is pretty much going to be about pathways to entrepreneurship. Now, first and foremost, I want to say that so many people in this world have it completely wrong. They have no clue what it means to be an entrepreneur. They have no idea how you get to be an entrepreneur. They just don't get the whole concept of how it fits together. And pretty much like anything about entrepreneurship and business, people are just flawed in their thinking and they don't understand it. To be an entrepreneur, you have to do first things first. Define a goal, define your obsession, define what you're really, really good at, define your strengths, define your weaknesses, figure those things out, and understand where you're going to go from there. This will give you a really, really good idea of what your actual product or service or what your obsession is going to be that you can pursue into entrepreneurship, okay? So that's goal number one. The second thing I want to say is college and university are not going to prepare you entirely for entrepreneurship. They are not a direct route to entrepreneurship. So if you're entering university right now, or if you're currently at university and you just got into business school, or if you're finishing business school, I hate to break the bad news to you, but business school is not the lottery ticket to entrepreneurship, right? Like, that's not how you get there, okay? Most things that are taught in business schools, even things like Wharton or Harvard or whatever, and MBA degrees and all of that, they're not directly applicable to entrepreneurship and making money as an entrepreneur today, especially in 2019. So I want to give you a good idea that it's great and it's absolutely a wonderful thing to have a college degree. I myself studied political science and I have a BA in that, and it was a perfectly well-rounded experience. Loved every minute of it. Excellent education, but that has nothing to do with what I do today. And I just want to notate that to let you know that college and university is not a direct pathway into entrepreneurship. It can lead you down a route that gives you a good education so that you can understand things and interpret things better than others may, but it's not a direct route into being an entrepreneur. I'd also like to say that entrepreneurship is incredibly trendy right now, okay? So it's really, really popular. So, it's a fad, right? It's not a fad that's gonna go away. It's just a fad in the sense that people think it's something super easy. People think it's something they can throw on their LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty much Jeff Bezos, just take it or leave it. No, that's the deal. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's actually hard work. It's not just the thing to do today. It's not that simple. It's incredibly difficult. It's not easy. There's no golden ticket to becoming an entrepreneur. And being good and having a business and being successful at it is very, very hard. You have to put a lot of work into it. It's really easy to just write, I'm an entrepreneur on your LinkedIn, or I'm a co-founder or founder of XYZ company, whatever, on your Instagram or on your Facebook or whatever it is. But that doesn't pay the bills, man. That doesn't actually do any work, right? So understand that entrepreneurship has become a fad in our society, and that's really, really dangerous. And you have to understand that peril, because if you're thinking in terms of I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to develop this, I'm going to do that, nothing's guaranteed. And it's incredibly hard to actually get to a point where you're a successful, profitable, sustainable entrepreneur, right? So understand that concept and that paradigm, right? So now let's talk about some actual pathways to becoming an entrepreneur. So one of which you can do is start at a company, okay? It could be a startup company, it could be a well-established company, it could be any sort of institution that does something related to what you're interested in. Maybe it's your obsession, maybe it's some interest of yours, maybe it's what you want to spin off of, right? Maybe it's a company creating an app that you want to develop an app to, and it's similar to that, or, you just want to understand the processes and everything. You can start your career, especially if you're young, right? This is the route to go. Start at a company and get a ton of experience and get a ton of things under your belt. I'm in the recruiting world, right? And I went directly into recruiting. I literally just started recruiting because I came from a sales background, an account management background. I knew people inside and out. I knew business deals. I knew how they worked. So I put all that knowledge together and I basically just took it and ran with it and was successful doing so. The companies I worked for were not recruiting companies, but what I did was pretty much use this sort of strategy. I started out working for several companies, took a bunch of knowledge from what I had and my experience, and started my recruiting agency, and it's been successful ever since. So that's sort of the route that I went. Another route that you could take is basically the taste and sample method, which is pretty much the equivalent of trial and error, right? So trying a ton of different things, right? So maybe it's e-commerce and Shopify and you want to test that out and see if you can do drop shipping and see if that works for you. Maybe it's consulting. Maybe you're setting up a brick and mortar with someone or franchising something or doing some sort of thing like that. It could be reselling things, right? Like you could be doing bulk import and export. Like there's, tons of money to be made in that. Trial and error, taste and sample, like check things out. That's a pathway into entrepreneurship, right? Another one is doing things 100% solo, like, leaving high school, maybe doing a year of community college or something, and on the side, just 100% solo, getting into an entrepreneurial mindset, learning things online, watching YouTube videos like this one, smash the like button. Anyways, going into it solo, getting everything under your belt solo, building out a website, building out an app, building out a system, just taking whatever's in your brain and what you learn from the outside and doing everything all on your own and learning how to build or code or develop or, just create a consultancy business or whatever it might be, like doing it all on your own. That's a pathway into entrepreneurship. Many, many people do that. Like they just take it by themselves and they go alone and they become successful. The caveat, secondary option to that would be doing something as a partnership or within a group. Now, you can obviously gain some benefits from doing this because you'll have either a partner or several people that can contribute to the main concept. Again, there's also some perils because at the end of the day, you're going to be splitting up equity of, your entrepreneurial venture with, possibly 2, 3, 4 or other people, right? And if you're greedy and you want to make a ton of money, right, you want to be the solo lone wolf. I'm a solo lone wolf in my recruiting agency. That's the way I like it. I can bill 6 figures and it all goes to me. Nothing goes to anybody else. It's just my business expenditures. That's all that I have to put out. So there's a saying, right? Like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? So take from that what you will. But at the end of the day, partnering up with someone is a total opportunity and a pathway to entrepreneurship. So the other way of doing it is following a pattern, okay? So we talk about don't reinvent the wheel, right? But you can follow a pattern and basically reinvent not the wheel, but something else someone has done since 2015 to 2019, right? Like there's been a ton of innovation and things that people have done throughout that 5-year period, 5-year period, that you can innovate on and you can add on to and you can create better and bigger things, right? There's so much opportunity for essentially just not copying, but innovating and augmenting and adding to, right? That's a pathway to entrepreneurship. Like maybe you found a really cool Google Chrome extension and you think, man, that's really awesome. Like I could take that concept and use it for a different use case, right? And you're good at coding or you find out how to code and you do that and that's your pathway to entrepreneurship. Overall, I just think that so many pathways are out there to this holy grail that we call entrepreneurship and becoming an entrepreneur, right? But at the end of the day, it's not about the pathway. And if you take one thing from this entire video, which is really the message that I'm trying to get across, is that you need to forget about all these pathways, right? So now I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pathways, 5 pathways here actually, but forget about them. Because what happens ultimately when you become an entrepreneur is it simply morphs together. It happens however it happens, okay? You can plan a pathway into entrepreneurship however you want, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen however it happens. That's just the way the universe works, right? So you may have a perfect business, it's all set up, and then a strategic partner comes into the mix and says, wow, I have these skills and these assets, and I could take this venture you're doing times 20 or times 100 right now, and you automatically become a partnership, right? Or you could be doing something incredibly solo on your own, and a mentor comes into your life, right? And they help you out, and they help you build systems and finite your processes and do everything. And you could go that route, and that becomes your pathway to entrepreneurship. But bottom line, there is no one pathway to entrepreneurship. That's the message I'm trying to get across to you. So ultimately, the pathway to entrepreneurship is simply to just smash the like button on this video if you got any value out of it, and understand that you can become an entrepreneur in any way you want, right? Just start. That's the concept. Just start somewhere. That's all you have to do, guys. So if you're not a subscriber yet, definitely subscribe. Again, smash the like button, and I will catch you guys for certain on Saturday. I hope you're having an awesome 4th, and I hope you're having an awesome holiday and a weekend, everything, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later.